Henry Olsen now is Senior Fellow at the Ethics and Public Policy Centre and host of podcast Beyond the Polls. Henry, thank you very much for your time. We were just hearing there from John Brain. Is this, in your opinion, a done deal, or can we expect other Democrats to throw their hats into the ring? And how much disruption would that cause?
It would cause a huge amount of disruption. Typically, in modern times, conventions are TV infomercials. There are 4 days that the party uses to get its message across without a lot of interruption. If there's a fight on the convention floor, then they can't do that. The convention is used to resolve the nomination rather than sell the nomination. Pretty much every major potential competitor to her has now endorsed her. When you look at the people who are said to be the possible successors to Biden or Harris, should Harris lose, they're choosing not to fight. And you can't beat someone with no one. Right now, there's no one. It looks like she will win, and the only question is, will she win unanimously, or will there be a token opponent who gets some votes, but not enough to seriously disturb her?
And Henry, what, in your opinion, are Kamala Harris's likelihood? What are the chances for Kamala Harris up against Donald Trump? What are her strengths, and how will she be different to Joe Biden?
Well, yeah, she's obviously different in that she would be America's first female president. She would be America's second African-American president after Barack Obama. One of the problems that the Democrats have is that their long-standing dominance with African Americans and other black voters is fading. And what she would have an opportunity to do would be to end that slide and reverse it. And if she can do that, that gives her a much better chance of winning. Her main challenge, though, is going to be separating herself from the Biden-Harris administration. That it's unpopular. It's not just Joe Biden's age. It's not just the personality of Kamala Harris, which has sometimes been derided as being too light for a serious job like the presidency. It's the fact that Americans don't like the course the country is going on. And she's going to have to set out her own vision without throwing her boss, the President of the United States, under the bus. She can do it, but it's going to be difficult, and that will show whether she has the political skill to take on a knife fighter like Donald Trump.
We've been hearing some Republicans calling for Joe Biden to stand down immediately. He is, of course, still president. Why is it that they're calling for that, and will Biden listen?
Well, they're calling for that because it draws attention to Biden's obvious infirmities, that the reason why Biden stepped down is because of awful debate performance in which he could barely string together 3 sentences for a 90-minute period. That, combined with well-documented physical difficulties and sometimes freezing on camera, leads many Republicans to believe that he's not up to the job. He's not just not up to the physical rigors of campaigning. He can't be president. They are calling for it because they expect he will resist them. So what it allows them to do is draw attention to the fact that Kamala Harris, along with leading Democrats, refused to say what was really going on behind closed doors in the White House. It is a ploy, but it's a ploy that allows them to keep Biden's age before the electorate and tying it to Harris, expecting that Biden's refusal will mean that they'll never be called on the bluff.
Henry, just a month now to go until the Democratic National Convention. What can we expect from that now with just 4 weeks to go?
Well, if Harris gets enough delegate support to be over the 50% mark, which she's well on her way to doing, the Democrats could very well have their early digital or electronic roll call vote, which would mean she would be officially the nominee before the convention. They could then use those 4 days to sell the Harris ticket, which is what you want to do with the convention. I would expect that they are hoping that they can do that. And if they can, then what I would expect to do is 2 things. One is use the time to tell Kamala Harris's story. People may not know her rise. They may not know of her experience. They want to make her as appealing and as unique as possible. And then the second thing is to showcase the party as both being united and diverse. We're going to expect that she's going to pick somebody more moderate than she is. If that is the case, then they will use the convention to say that they are the party that is broad-based and in touch with America's center, while Republicans are extreme. The Republicans, of course, will argue the opposite, but the convention is the best chance for them to reintroduce Harris to America and pull the Democratic Party as a whole to the center under her leadership.
Henry, really appreciate your time. Henry Olsen speaking to us live there from Washington.